BMW 530e. Isn't this exciting? All the power and class that comes with the BMW brand, except a hybrid. BMW, is that a safe brand? 248 horsepower, 310 pound-feet of torque. That sounds fast. Is that too fast? 0 to 60 in 6 seconds. Okay, that's way too fast. Here we go, baby. Ah!
With its hybrid capabilities, the 530e might cure drivers of their range anxiety. But for a conversation on how to deal with all types of anxiety, we're going to have to talk to an expert. Dr. Christine Korol is a registered psychologist and professor at the University of British Columbia. She has dedicated her career to helping adults and children with anxiety over the past 20 years.
Isn't this amazing, this car?
Yeah, seatbelt just
Gave
me a little
up.
hug. Yeah.
The seats do massage as well. Like,
Nice.
no joke. They do lumbar, you can do shoulder massages.
So if you're nervous about driving, it'd be a good car.
Explain to me what anxiety is.
So anxiety is really a bit of a problem of perception. The overestimation of danger plus the underestimation of coping. So you see things as more dangerous than they actually are. And often people know that they're more dangerous than they are. They'll come in and see me and say, you know, I'm afraid of flying and I know it's safer to fly than drive in a car, but I still feel like every time I'm going to get on that plane, it's going to go down.
It feels kind of like we're flying.
A little bit. We're heading up the mountain.
Yeah, ears
going
are
off
popping.
my ears are popping too.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, when you think about typically how people cope with anxiety disorders, the first thing they do is just, if you're afraid of flying, you don't fly. If you're afraid of needles, you don't go to the doctor.
Right.
What makes anxiety worse is avoidance. So you want to approach, not avoid. You know, if you don't like flying, that's fine. But if you're afraid of flying and you'd really like to go to Hawaii,
Right.
then I want to help you treat it.
That's a thing that
That's
you
a
should deal
thing,
with.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's surprising how quickly, when you actually face your fear, how your body relaxes and goes, oh, okay, this thing isn't going to kill me. I'm okay. Spider phobias work pretty quickly that way.
How would you treat a spider phobia?
You get a spider.
No, you don't.
Yes, you do.
Is there just like someone who supplies spiders to doctors?
Well, you catch them, yeah. Yeah.
Do you have to get over your own fear of spiders?
Yes. Oh, I hate spiders.
Do you?
Oh, God.
Being afraid of spiders is different from having anxiety about spiders.
Yeah, I think most people don't love spiders, but if you can't sit out on a patio in the summer because you're afraid there might be a spider phobia can take over and really prevent you from doing certain things. Then
Right.
you might want to come in and get it treated. Most people with anxiety have fears that are related to safety or survival. You know, I don't see too many bunny phobias. Right?
Right. Okay.
There's nothing wrong with you. It's very common. I usually tell people it means they're highly evolved, that their brain is working a little overtime. So I want people to be nice to themselves. I want them to practice self-compassion and encourage themselves. There's a part of their brain that's sort of responsible for that survival instinct. And it's a bit like a toddler. You can't reason with them. So if you're trying to treat your anxiety and you start saying to yourself,
I should know better. I know anxiety is not dangerous, but, you know, I'm still nervous. What's wrong with me?
if you're talking to yourself like that, that part of your brain starts essentially crying
Right.
and having a bit of you make it worse.
Right. Bit of a meltdown.
Bit of a meltdown.
Yeah.
If the brain goes, don't do that, and you go, okay, I'm not going to do that. The brain goes, oh, thank God.
Right.
And then the brain a few minutes later goes, oh, maybe you shouldn't do that.
Right.
And maybe you shouldn't do that. So anxiety has a tendency to grow if you leave it untreated. So don't feel if you've had anxiety for a long time that it necessarily will take forever to treat as
Right.
well.
What about like self-medicating?
It becomes a problem, particularly for social anxiety. People with social anxiety do tend to drink too much to get through social occasions.
Right.
And so you don't want to have to do something to deal with your anxiety. It's always better to treat it naturally
Right.
and face your fears. And then if you do get through, say you do get through that party, you don't really learn that it was you. You attribute your success to the self-medication or any medication. People get better faster if they're not using prescription medication
Right.
or self-medicating with other things like alcohol. There's some exceptions, like with obsessive compulsive disorder, sometimes it can be so intense that we need medication. Generally speaking, for most mild to moderate anxiety disorders, people will do better without medication and just the cognitive therapy. Anxiety, nature favors anxiety. There's a reason why we've evolved to have anxiety, because for thousands of years it's kept us safe in quite hostile environments. You know, here we are driving through the mountains, there's lots of bears, so I want to avoid bears. I don't need to run into a bear, do you? But if it comes out, I don't know.
From the side tack or something?
Yeah.
Why? You're just thinking of things to stress me out.
Or like drop bears.
Drop bears?
Right?
That's not a thing?
I don't know.
Just looking out, just in case.
You're checking for them? I think
well,
we're
there's
good.
some high trees beside us
They're
here.
very high trees,
and I'm
yeah.
concerned. It would do some damage.
Yeah, there are bears out here.
We'd have to pay the deductible on this car. I don't
Oh,
want
right.
to do that.
No, I think you must have the drop bear coverage.
It's probably
The
automatic.
insurance. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.